Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode one of the Team Venom Wrestling Podcast. Not giving it a fancy name because I don't want to. I'm your host, Rory Bailey, joined by my wonderful amigo, brother from another mother, occasionally lover, Connor Franks. How's it going, man?
It's good, man. Would like to point out, occasionally love it, not occasional enough. Just saying, just putting that out there.
I know it's too much of a distance.
I know.
He is the Katie Vick to my Kane.
Yes.
So,
He's the Claire Lynch to my AJ Styles,
yes. But
and the world just constantly Vince McMahon's us. Moving on. Hi, everyone.
So, hi everybody. So, the aim of this podcast, because obviously this is the first time potentially anyone's listening to us, is to do another wrestling podcast from us wonderful folks at Team Venom Media. There'll be clips on YouTube. You'll be able to pick this up all over the place for it to come in your ears. And, it's just one of those things. We've done loads and loads of podcasts between the pair of us over the past. I think if we were to number it, which we probably should have just done from the get-go and just number episodes from whatever the fuck we started with, we'd be in the thousands by now easily.
I was going to say, we have to be in like over 1,000.
Yeah, because we did that thing, didn't we, where when there was the cull of of contributors 5 or 6 years ago, and a bunch of people that we were doing podcasts with disappeared. Me and you were like, well,
We'll keep them all running. Fuck you all.
Yeah, we just went overboard because it was great.
Well, in fairness, we went from having literally over 5, 7 people
and not being able to get regular stuff.
Not being able to get regular stuff, but stuff that each person had to work on, and that
Yeah.
they just chose to not. So we got rid of them. So then we was like, right, fuck you, we'll do them all. So in a recording session, it did. In a recording session, we did multiple shows every single time we recorded, and still got them out.
And so the aim of this one is because we've done plenty of wrestling ones in the past, and they've never really stuck around because of the thing of reviewing ongoing products. And we both have that thing where if we're watching wrestling to be critical of it and to review it, it just stops being enjoyable. It hasn't helped that it's only been like the last year when WWE's gotten truly fully enjoyable from start to finish again. But over the last few years, it's been a slog. I mean, my favourite podcast experience was when me, you, and your brother Danny decided we were going to do a WWE podcast, and the first thing we did was preview Hell in a Cell, where the main event was Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt, and we're and then we're going to review it on the next episode, and we were just like so hyped on that first episode, and the second episode was just like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that bad that it was that bad, and we were that negative that WWE's own press told us we would never get press with them because we were too negative about them, which I'm very proud of that.
I am, and I think it's helped that we told them, "Well, fix your product," and we won't be.
Which is exactly the response.
Yeah, which is crazy because like I'm a WWE guy, I'm not going to pretend.
No, this is it.
I don't care. AEW is not personally for me. Everyone's entitled to like what they like, but I'm WWE through and through. Always have been. And the company I loved went, "You're being too negative," and I went, "Fuck off." And
it's like and it's been fun when we've done that sort of stuff where we're like, you know what, they have to look it. And we've had it with AEW themselves because you've just mentioned those. We've never had an AEW guest on. We've hardly. I think we've talked about them once or twice, but we actually are on their press list, which is amazing. Yeah. We still have press credentials. I checked the other day. We still have AEW press credentials for their entire 5 years of existing. We're on their press list.
That's hilarious.
I know. I did that one call with Cody Rhodes, and the person hosting it said that he was only taking. I'd been on there for about 40 minutes. And hadn't said a single word to Cody. And then they went, "Oh, just so you know, we've only got 20 minutes left, and we're only going to be taking questions from big time contributors, like big time outlets." So we didn't get a single question in there. So that was the point. I was just like, fuck off. It's just the immediate, yeah, no, don't care. Whereas Impact have always been great to us. Doesn't I know we've been very hot and cold on the product quite a lot of the time. Um, but they have been very consistently good with us. We've had guests over the years from Impact. We've been invited to shows. I went to the last UK tour. I went to the last UK show before that, and before that, I went to the last UK tour. All complimentary and all in the VIP section for Impact. Met a load of the guys as a result. It's been
That's
amazing.
him. I don't get invited to those, so suck my balls, TNA. How about
Yeah, yeah, they can.
that?
But one of the things that I'd like to bring up is we wanted to have actual topics for these, but obviously this is the first episode, so we're just waffling, which is great. But one of the topics that we were going to do was one last run, and I figured
Yes.
that would be a very good way to kick this off. And as the host, when we're going to go for the one last run topic, what I want to do is throw it over to you to throw a name out there so that I've got no preparation to try and
Okay.
think of some shit. So
Okay.
and by one last run, it can be any company, any wrestler. Do we want to see someone go back to WWE or make an AEW debut to make to like lose all their wrestling skill on the way out or whatever? Um, that sort of thing. So give me a name for who you think we should have one last run somewhere, and we'll talk about it.
All right, I'm gonna go with the guy who I was very upset when he joined AEW purely because I had hope in my little wrestling fan heart. I'm gonna hit you with Captain Charisma,
that was
Christian.
I knew
You
it,
threw up
but
the double C's as well.
yes, I knew it.
You knew I was going for Christian. Honestly, that Rumble return, man. I
Yeah,
like I I watch wrestling, at home, and when certain things happen, I go, "Oh shit!" Oh, like you know what I mean.
that was
When
a
his
holy
music
shit
hit
moment.
in that
Yeah,
Rumble, I was fucking 10 years old again, man.
same.
And it hurts me. Don't get me wrong, the stuff he's doing over there seems amazing. I don't watch it. I'm not going to
Yeah,
pretend. I read online and I can see the gist of it. Um,
I like that he
so
got another go as Impact and TNA champion.
yeah,
That was nice
yeah,
to
yeah.
know that
And
happened.
I'm buzzing that he's even though he's gone to another company that he's still been treated like the star that he always should have been treated as. But
Yeah,
personally, for me, as I said before, I'm a WWE shill. It is what it is. People can hate on that if they want, but that's just how it is, right?
yeah, yeah.
I'm not like saying WWE's better.
No, because
It's just my thing.
we've always been quite vocal about that sort of thing. I've
Yeah,
always been I've always been a WWF and WWE fan. I've told you before about how I used to watch Raw and Nitro on a Friday night because that's when it was shown at a reasonable hour on Sky Sport on Sky TV. So you had Sky Sports would have Raw on at 9 o'clock on a Friday, and Bravo would have Nitro on at 9 o'clock on a Friday. And I can remember doing the old channel surfing between those,
yeah.
and it was always WWF that I leant towards. Um,
Mick Foley just won the title. That'll put bombs in seats. And then Rory Bailey switched over for the final time.
yes, fucking
Damn
love
you,
Mick
Tony
Foley.
Schiavone.
I, Mick Foley's one of my all-time favorites. Anyway, but we're getting sidetracked. So one last one, Christian. How do you want to do this? Do you want to pitch it? Or do you want me to tell you how I had Wyatt wrap up his career first, and then you go for your thoughts?
Um, if you want to go first, you can go first.
Okay,
We're both doing it on the fly, so it's
okay. So for Christian's last run, I would. I'm not going to give him. I wouldn't give him a WWE run as his last run.
you're going TNA.
I'm going TNA, but I'm going TNA for a variety of reasons, but mainly the thing of to me. I know a lot of people who were into TNA when it first appeared in like 2002 to the 2004 when it was purely like the NWA stuff and before it boomed. A lot of people view that as the place that AJ Styles built. AJ Styles was great and everything, but Christian jumping to TNA was the single biggest thing to happen to that company in general. Because when you think about it, I know Kurt Angle, bigger name and stuff, and Hall of Fame career, all that sort of stuff. Sting, Hogan, all those guys that came out through there. Until Christian went there, it was never treated as a viable option for many wrestlers. It was never treated as a big promotion. It was, oh, it's Jeff Jarrett's vanity project. That was
Yeah,
the view that it had for
yeah.
those first few
In
years.
fairness, yeah, because in the first few years they
It
even
was
got
just
Jeff.
Jeff,
They got
and
Jeff Hardy early on
yeah,
in his first hiatus, and
did nothing with him.
it well did nothing
Well,
with
no,
him,
it
but
did nothing for them. Sorry,
yeah, in
that's
fairness,
what
his granted, Jeff Hardy at that point stock wasn't quite it was when he left
no,
when he lost to Punk, but if even because Jeff Hardy's always been popular.
yeah.
So if him leaving in what was it like 04 or 3, something like
Oh
that.
two, he left.
Oh,
He
two,
left,
yeah.
or
And
it might have been. It might have been the beginning of '03.
it was very early 2000s.
Yeah,
Um, he still had huge popularity from the literal biggest wrestling company. No other compares at that point.
yeah,
Went to TNA, and even he didn't do it, which isn't, like I say, that's not a knock on Jeff. I'm a big fan of
no.
Jeff. So for Christian to come over and
It
make
sort of it gave it
make
the
early, yeah,
legitimate thing,
it did.
and
It
that's
gave TNA like that early TNA run of his, and just TNA in general, his aura made every episode an
yes.
instant classic.
I like what you did there. But I I've been floating back and forth with TNA since Turning Point 2004, which was because they had Randy Savage teaming with Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles against Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Jeff
Yeah,
Jarrett. That wasn't the match that got me in. It was the fact that it was like, oh crap, Macho Man's having a match, and so I wanted to see what happened.
yeah, yeah,
It was terrible
yeah.
because
Well, no
all
one was to know.
and to be fair, that was purely down to, well, that could have been huge for TNA. That could have led to huge things, but it didn't,
I
unfortunately.
think
And that
there's a
was
lot of
because
thing in
Savage was
TNA's
at that
early.
point where
Yeah, did care.
he wasn't in the right place,
No, no.
and that happens.
Of course,
Whereas,
yeah.
but I'd watched some of the undercard, and so I was keeping a bead on TNA in general because I was like, oh, TNA's on, I'll casually watch that. There was a wrestling channel on Sky at the time which showed Impact, so I used to catch it on there. And then when Christian jumped, the last thing he did, his last match in WWE before jumping, was challenge for the WWE title. And the fact that that was his last match, it was like WWE have just got to the point where they're putting him at that level of going for the WWE title, and he went, "Yeah, no, I'm going to TNA." Hey, yeah, that immediately resonated with fans everywhere that wanted to see him succeed, and they were like, "Right, I'm tuning into this." And the next thing he's there, he ends Jarrett's reign of terror. Like Jarrett would occasionally drop the belt and get it back. I think he won the NWA title something like 6 times during those first few years of TNA. But he basically had the NWA title hostage for a while, to the
Yeah.
point where every pay-per-view main event had Jeff Jarrett in. If he didn't win, if he didn't have the title, he was still going after it the following pay-per-view. It was, and I love Jeff Jarrett, so it's but those few years were more like a, yeah, it's just Jeff Jarrett's just accumulating wins and title reigns and stuff.
Jeff Jarrett presents Jeff Jarrett's Wrestling Playground.
Yeah, yeah, and to be fair, he had the biggest name out of anyone on the roster at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that, because you do put your title on your biggest star. So I can see where that came from. But then Christian came in. He had all these years of everyone else going for it. Christian immediately made an impact, no pun intended, and became the NWA champion, and on multiple occasions, and elevated so many young guys. I mean, like, I'd seen AJ Styles have main event matches anywhere. I'd seen him go after Jeff Jarrett. I'd seen him win the NWA title. I saw him team with Jeff Hardy and an absent Macho Man, and then it was the thing of Christian and Christian and AJ Styles had a great little feud. It was brilliant. Tomko came over, who was Christian's enforcer. It was all really good, and I've been talking too long about Christian in TNA rather than giving you my pitch. I apologise. So the other year, I think AEW did a good thing with Christian to undo a bad thing they did with Kenny Omega, which was Kenny Omega won the TNA Championship and Impact title, because there was two separate belts for a while. So Kenny Omega won the pair of belts of world titles from Impact, and immediately made the company look awful. I mean, like we were watching regularly, and that was the point where neither of us particularly wanted to watch it anymore. And then they went, all right, Christian's gone to AEW, and he took the Impact title off Kenny Omega, and that was huge because Omega, they were building it big enough as this big unbeatable megastar, and not only did he take that off him, but then he went back to Impact with it. So Christian went to Impact with it. He wrestled everyone. He had a great match with Josh Alexander. It was great. I love the fact that they did that. But what I'd love to see even more for a final run for him is for Christian to hit that point where he knows, let's say he does a John Cena. He knows that next year is his last year, yeah, and he can pick where he wants to go. I would personally like to see him go to TNA and mix it up with whichever TNA originals are there, whichever new guys have built up. I'd like to see Christian versus Nick Nemeth for the TNA Championship.
Yeah.
Ziggler's great. I mean, Nemeth's great. I can't call him Ziggler anymore. Nemeth's great, and I think the two of them would have
You
a
can call
really
him whatever
good.
you want. This isn't an
Yeah,
affiliated podcast.
I don't give a shit really. Yeah, but it's one of those things I'd love to see Nemeth versus Christian on. There's a main event feud through TNA, and I'd have him go maybe against Josh Alexander because of that little history that they built up. Josh Alexander goes after Christian for the TNA Championship. Christian loses the title to him, decides to put his career on the line to get a rematch, and then loses. That's the sort of way that he should go out. That's the sort of way that anyone should go out, to be honest. But I think Christian versus out of everyone that's active on TNA, Josh Alexander will probably be a great last opponent for him.
Yeah, without a doubt. Josh Alexander can really go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like that kind of situation, no matter what, I think the final match or that final short run, I think Christian will do everything in his power to make every
Everyone
match.
look great. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's how I'd look at it. I'd have him go back to TNA. I'd have him wind down in TNA properly because that's the place that made Christian. TNA made Christian. Christian made TNA
Yes.
during 2005. It was, it wasn't like a one-sided thing. Christian going there was a big name that everybody knew, who up until that point should, like, he had the same sort of stature as Jeff Hardy. He was part of
Yeah.
one of the most popular tag teams in the WWE, multiple time tag team champion, had some amazing matches at WrestleMania, and Jeff Hardy didn't make an impact, no pun intended, whereas Christian did. And but Christian being there elevated it to a point where it was an option for every other wrestler to go there. And we saw the floodgates open. We saw loads of wrestlers go there. Kurt Angle, I don't think would have considered it had Christian not been there, because we know from history, from WWE TV and books and stuff that came out around the time, that Christian and Kurt Angle were really good friends in real life.
Yeah.
And there was that whole point where they were trying to actively get Kurt Angle and Edge and Christian as a mini stable going on WWE TV for a while, but it got shut down, pal. And, but yeah, it was one of those things that where because Christian was there, Kurt Angle went there. Because Kurt Angle went there, Scott Steiner, Booker T, Kevin Nash was already there by that point, and he'd already dipped in his toe in. Sting, Hulk Hogan, Mick Foley, all those sorts of big caliber names were like, it's a viable option now. And yeah, and the investors saw it. Sorry, the investors saw that it was a viable option. Dixie Carter and Panda Energy and all that sort of stuff that they did in terms of financing the company and building it up, all happened during Christian's run.
Yeah.
So yeah, Christian going there, wrapping up his career there. Yeah, makes sense to me. Your pitch there.
Okay, so my pitch is in WWE.
Yeah,
I would have it be the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
For the record, the main champion at the point of this is Randy Orton. Okay.
Yeah.
Randy Orton is on number 16.
Yes.
He'd be on 16 at this
so
point.
He'd, he'd be on 16. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, Royal Rumble match, men's. The first entrant, Christian. Big pop. He's back. We get these kind of returns every few years where someone like Chris Jericho enter at number one and do the Iron Man performance.
Yeah.
Same thing, enter at number one, and then eventually say number 22. Random,
Yeah.
don't really matter. Cody Rhodes is in.
Hmm.
Now, theoretically, they've both got that history, right? Everyone wants to see Cody Randy at some point.
Yeah.
And Christian at that point would want Randy because he's the champion. So, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And the whole one more match thing.
Yes, exactly. It comes down to it, and it is Christian and Cody Rhodes. Cody has a chance of matching Stone Cold's Rumble record.
Yeah.
Christian has a chance of doing the unthinkable and winning a Rumble like this after a hiatus away from a company. Going at
And
it,
main event in Mania.
exactly. Going at it back and forth, blah, 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 as it is. Eventually, Christian has Cody over the top rope, so it's like upside down, one hand on the apron.
Yeah.
Where they do like the legs flailing kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
He's doing that. Cody manages, hit Christian in the head. Christian falls on his ass. As Cody starts grabbing the bottom rope to push himself up, boom, out of nowhere, a boot.
Yeah.
Kicks Cody in the head. Who is it? He's already been mentioned once. It's Tyson Tomko.
Nice.
Christian just goes over, pushes Cody. Christian wins the Rumble. Now,
Love
come
it,
Elimination Chamber. Come Elimination Chamber. You've got Cody been like, hold on, you didn't eliminate me like you should have. Technically, you didn't even get the last hit on me. You didn't knock me out to throw me out. I want a match at Chamber for the winner to face Orton. So Christian goes, I won the Rumble. So
and he was in from the start. He literally built himself like, yeah,
so after
Cody, you only had 8 people after you, whereas I took on all 30.
Yeah, so after back and forth, he goes, fine, at Elimination Chamber, you can have your match. Where if you win, you go on to WrestleMania to face Randy Orton. It will be no DQ match. It will be Cody Rhodes versus Christian and Tyson Tonko.
Yeah.
2-on-1 handicap. We then get that match going on. Elimination Chamber, no DQ. They're all beating the piss out of Cody. Glass shatters with a nice little musical background as Goldust makes another return to help out Cody. Even the odds, it's no DQ. Cody, Goldust does all the wonderful Goldust perv things he does that we love to see. And then eventually you have Goldust and Tomko. You know when they do that thing where they start just punching each other while simultaneously walking like crabs up the ramp?
Yeah.
Yeah, they start doing that. We'll punch each other till we get through the curtain, then we'll go hang out in catering. So we get that.
Accidentally spill coffee on Kane and start a new feud.
Yeah. Then Christian, Cody, going at it. And this is something you don't see enough. And I understand you can't see this a lot because then it'd be like, why don't everyone do this? But I just think because we're already going a heel Christian.
Yeah.
Have this. You've got Christian trying to go under the ring, not even for a weapon. He's trying to crawl out. Cody's on him. He's half under the ring to a point where it's to his waist. Cody pulls him out, throws him in the ring. Christian rolls to the other side, slowly getting up on the ropes. Cody goes straight to him. Christian, taser. Picks Cody up, hits the Unprettier, positions him, slowly makes the cover, stares right at the hard cam. We're getting Christian Orton at Mania.
I like it.
At Mania, Tomko banned from ringside because Randy's not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He just won like that. Do you know what I mean? Straight up, Christian wins.
Nice.
Christian is the WWE, not World Heavyweight. Christian finally is WWE champion. He holds that until Mania. Defends against Cody, rematch against Orton, probably. Insert other people you want to see him go up against. Seth Rollins would be great, those kind of people.
Yeah.
SummerSlam happens. Christian versus Randy Orton 2. The main event of SummerSlam. Orton gets the win, breaks Flair's record. Christian gets up, with the belt as Orton's celebrating. He's got the belt in his hand. It looks like he's going to hit him. Orton turns around. Christian passes him the belt, raises his hand, takes a bow, looks for his peeps, and leaves the in-ring business. That is how I would book Christian's last run.
That was poetic, man. I liked it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. Okay, so for a little bit of fun, if you find us on Facebook, please comment whose version you would like. Do you like Connor's WWE pitch or my TNA pitch? Drop it in there, or drop it on the YouTube comments for. Oh, well, I'm not even going to put this on YouTube. I don't know what I'm on about. I might put it on YouTube. You know, I'm going to put it on YouTube for the comment section. I'll put this on YouTube. Drop it in the YouTube comment section. That makes more sense than any of the other things I was saying.
Hey, a good way to do it, put your pitch on there with what you've just said on the end of it there, and then my pitch separately with what you said there, and then people can comment.
Yeah, we're doing separate pitches, man. It's going to happen.
So there you go. YouTube content in separate clips.
Indeed.
Looks like we're doing more work for less.
Also, YouTube. If we say it enough times, hopefully their algorithm will make it good for us. So, anyway.
We say a lot of hot keywords.
Yeah.
Wow, mystery boxing gone wrong. Oh my god.
So, to be fair, as far as first episodes go, this has been pretty beautiful. One last run for Christian, but a very enjoyable thing to discuss. One thing that I wanted to get your opinion on, because neither of us mentioned him based on this, and this is only what's been coming up since with that. We've talked about a WWE finale, we've talked about a TNA finale. Sadly, it looks like we may end up getting an AEW finale for him. However, do you retire Christian in AEW against Adam Copeland?
No.
But do you think that will happen?
Yeah. They're both there. They've both got the freedom to do whatever they want.
That's probably how their career. They'll probably both have like a simultaneous retirement.
Yeah, that freedom wasn't there the last time they were in the Fed with the Rumble together when they were both there. You know, they were. I'm pretty sure if they were not there now, they'd get that freedom.
Yeah. The sad thing about that was they set up an Edge and Christian reunion and then never paid it off.
Yeah. I think the thing is, it's like in the wrestling industry, Edge and Christian have done so much for the business, for the fans, for the entertainment. They've gone through countless injuries and all this shit. They've done everything. I mean, Christian was sidelined with concussions retired with concussions and stuff like that. That I feel like, and they have every right to do this if this is the case, that they're like, when it comes to the Christian Copeland blow off, which will be an AW by the looks of it.
Yeah.
That's for them, not for us, which they have every right to do.
Absolutely.
I just, again, WWE preference. I would much rather Edge Christian in WWE, but in all honesty, wherever it happens, I will probably watch it because they're my guys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I completely agree. What a somber way to end the first episode of the Team Venom Wrestling Podcast. We've been your sultry hosts.
we could end every episode with a really random like what if to the other person, just to really throw it out there.
Yeah. Well, that's what we'll have to
do. All right, there, I've got one for you now. Okay, I'll think of one. We'll alternate every episode. Next episode, you say it to me.
Sound.
Would you rather?
Would you rather that?
Yeah.
Not what if.
Would you rather drink Kurt Angle's milk that has been dripped down the chest and the beautiful breasticles of Big Daddy V?
I thought you were going to say Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That would be an obvious choice. Or would you rather suck out Steve Austin's beer from Gillian Hall's mole?
Why would you do this to me?
For the people at home who can't see him, he's currently hiding his erection.
not doing a very good job of it, obviously.
I know you're having to pee
If he's
around it.
visible for him.
It's like a fire hydrant.
Like the Rock's arm punched through the keyboard. The Gillian Hall mole thing. Because at least the beer would take the edge off it a little bit, whereas Kurt Angle's
I don't
milk
know
was
because
rancid.
it's not like you're licking the mole. You like when you was a kid, did you ever like a flannel or a sponge in the bath? Did you ever go?
Ah!
That's what you got to do to the mole, bro.
Ah! Both of these things are very unhealthy.
That's the problem.
I'm gonna stick with the Gillian Hall thing.
If this was kale juice, it'd be a very simple question.
Well, yes, or kombucha, we'd be fine. Yeah, beer through a mole.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Only the burning questions here on the Team Venom Media podcast.
Indeed, and we shall see you next week for another episode of Team Venom Wrestling Podcast that we didn't want to give a name to. So thank you all for listening, and leave the comment about where you think Christian should retire and how you think he should retire. If there's some decent comments in there, we'll probably read them back in about a month's time because we won't see the comments straight away. It might take a month for people to comment for all we know. So yeah, we'll get to them eventually, and see you all later.